This is a SnapEd New York video presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Wendy Beckman and I'm a registered dietitian with the New York State Office for the Aging and SnapEd New York. Thanks for joining me today on What's Cooking with NYSOFA. Today I'm going to be making crispy Parmesan baked fish. This is a great option for dinner to add more fish into your diet. We'll be posting a link to the recipe below, and the recipe can also be found on the SnapEd New York website at www.snapedny.org. This recipe makes 8 servings. Now you could cut the recipe in half if you wanted to make a smaller portion. Each serving has 140 calories and 21 grams of protein. This recipe is also low in fat and sodium. Now before I start cooking, let's look at the My Plate graphic. This recipe covers the protein section on the My Plate graphic. Fish is an excellent source of high-quality protein. Protein is made up of amino acids, and our bodies use the amino acids in the foods we eat to make proteins in our bodies. Things like skin and muscle cells, but also things like blood cells and immune response cells. As we age, our bodies use protein less efficiently than when we were younger, so you want to make sure that you include enough protein in your diet, and this recipe is a great way to do that. You can vary your protein routine by including animal-based forms of protein like lean chicken, fish, pork, or beef, and plant-based proteins like nuts, seeds, beans, and legumes. The Dietary Guidelines for Americans recommends eating 2 to 3 servings of fish every week. So this recipe is a quick way to get some more fish into your diet. Fish is a beneficial part of a healthy diet because it contains omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are healthy fats that are beneficial for heart health. These fatty acids are an essential nutrient. That means that your body can't make these fatty acids on its own. You have to get the healthy fats in your diet. Fish and some seeds and nuts, like flax seeds and walnuts, contain these healthy fats. Omega-3 fatty acids can help to lower triglycerides in your blood, which can help to lower your risk for heart disease and stroke when they're consumed as part of a healthy diet. Remember that everything you eat and drink over time matters. Make every bite count by finding your healthy eating style and maintaining it for a lifetime. The right mix can help you be healthier now and in the future. Now, before we get into this recipe, last month I made minestrone soup. If you didn't get to see that video, you can view it on the New York State Office for the Aging Facebook page or the New York State Office for the Aging YouTube channel. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you hit the notification bell, you won't miss out on any new content when it's posted. So let's get into making this crispy Parmesan baked fish. Remember to wash your hands with soap for at least 20 seconds or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer before you start cooking. Now let's look at the ingredients for this recipe. Here I have 3/4 of a cup of plain breadcrumbs. You can also use whole wheat breadcrumbs if you want to increase your fiber. This is 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I have 1/4 teaspoon of ground thyme. I have 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. And this is 1/8 teaspoon of paprika. Now I have about 3/4 cup of nonfat or 1% milk. Here I have 1%, probably a little less than 3/4 cup. And here the recipe calls for 2 pounds of fillets of fish, or about 4 fillets of fish. I actually have about 1/2 pound here, so just keep that in mind when you're looking at these ingredients. But 2 pounds is what the recipe calls for. So you can easily cut it in half or make more if you need to. This is tilapia, but you can use any white fish such as haddock or cod. I usually look for sales at my grocery store and I purchase what's on sale. The first thing that you need to do is preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. My oven is already up to temperature. Next, in a small bowl, we're going to mix together the breadcrumbs, the Parmesan cheese, the thyme, onion powder, and paprika. So let's do that. First, I'm going to put the breadcrumbs in. And next, we're going to use the Parmesan cheese. There. I grated that fresh, but you don't have to use fresh. If you don't want to, you can buy the already grated Parmesan cheese if you want to. Now I'm going to add the thyme. And next we're going to add the onion powder And last, we're going to put in the paprika. And then what we need to do is sort of mix all of these dry ingredients together. So let's make sure that we mix them thoroughly. We want all of the cheese sort of incorporated throughout the breadcrumbs so you get a nice even coat when you put this on your fish. It already smells pretty good. All right. The paprika adds a little bit of color there. There, that looks pretty good. So, after we've got all of that mixed up, we have to put the breadcrumbs into a shallow dish, a flat plate, or a sheet of wax paper. I like using a shallow baking dish, but I'm actually going to use a little bit small plate today. That usually works pretty well. And we're going to coat the fish with that. So you don't have to use all of it, but you want a pretty good pile there so that you have enough to put on your fish. And next we're going to put the milk onto another plate. Like I said, you could use a pie plate or a shallow baking dish, but today we're going to use this plate here. You don't want to put too much on your plate because once you put the fish in there, some of the milk can spill off of the plate and it gets to be a little bit of a mess. So when I am doing something where I'm breading, I try to keep one of my hands clean and one that's going to get all sloppy with these two things. It doesn't always work out that way, but we're going to try. So with my right hand, because that's my dominant hand, I'm going to put this fish into the milk first, and we're going to have to turn it over. You want to sort of press it in there. See, that can sometimes be a bit of a mess. We're going to press it in there and make sure that it's coated thoroughly with the milk. Okay, and next we're going to take this piece of fish and we're going to put it into the breadcrumbs. I'm going to pat that down. We're going to turn it over so we get the other side. And you can sort of see here that some of the parts of the fish didn't get coated with the breadcrumbs, so I usually take some and with my fingers and sort of pat it over the top. Turn it over again just to see if we missed any parts. I'm going to coat that thoroughly with the breadcrumbs. Okay, there's that piece of fish. Now before I do the other one, I'm going to have to get my pan, so let me get that. Here's my baking dish. You can spray it with some non-stick spray if you want to, but what I'm going to do is just put about a teaspoon of vegetable oil in here, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. So let's sort of mix that around a little bit. Okay, so now I can put this piece of fish in the baking dish. All right, let's do that with the other one. Let's take this piece of fish here. I'm going to put it in the milk first, carefully. Turn it over so that it is thoroughly coated with that milk. And then we're going to put it in the breadcrumb mixture, just like we did with the other one. Press that down. I'm going to turn it over. Press it down again. Take your hands. You can use some of the breadcrumbs here. Put that on top of these things. Here, make sure that you've got a nice coating on your fish and you aren't missing any spots. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Make sure that it's all coated. That looks pretty good. Okay. Did a fairly decent job keeping one of my hands clean. I'm going to put that in the baking dish. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to discard any leftover breadcrumbs that you have because they've had raw fish on them. It's not safe to consume any longer. So let's get rid of those breadcrumbs and then the milk as well. We're going to get rid of that milk also. Get rid of that down the sink. Now that my hands are coated with milk and breadcrumbs and raw fish, I'm going to have to wash my hands. So I'm going to do that now. So once you have everything cleaned up, you can place the fish into the oven and bake it until the fish is opaque or not as see-through and flakes easily in the thickest part of the fish. It usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes depending on the thickness of your fish. Of course, thicker fish is going to take longer to cook than a thinner piece of fish. Now let me show you some Parmesan baked fish that I made earlier. I'm going to put this one in the oven and I'll get the other fish out. All right, and this is the fish that I made earlier. So this is a nice light dish that can be an excellent source of protein. It's great with a little squeeze of lemon juice. I hope that this recipe gave you some more ideas on how to incorporate more fish into your diet. Join me next month in April when I'll be making fried rice with chicken. I'll be back with another edition of What's Cooking with NYSOFA on Friday, April 26th at 12:30 p.m. on the New York State Office for the Aging Facebook page and the New York State Office for the Aging YouTube channel, where you can find out more ways to save time, save money, and eat healthy. This presentation was funded by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This institution is an equal opportunity provider. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us today. We know the healthy choice isn't always the easiest choice, but small changes can make a big difference. Start today by getting involved with SNAP-Ed New York. This program is free for those who qualify or receive SNAP benefits. We want to help you save time, save money, and eat healthy. Learn how SNAP-Ed can make a difference in your life. For more information and to find your local program, visit snapedny.org. This material is funded by USDA's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. SNAP. This institution is an equal opportunity provider.
Hi, I'm registered dietitian Wendy Beckman, host of What's Cooking with NYSOFA. Over the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to share healthy, nutritious recipes with you on the show. I work for the New York State Office for the Aging, and thanks to a partnership with SNAP-Ed New York, our nutrition team reaches hundreds of thousands of older New Yorkers each year. So why a cooking program? 60% of health costs and related issues have nothing to do with health, but instead have to do with individual behaviors like our food choices and physical activity. The recipes we feature are nutritionally appropriate for older adults, meeting critical nutrition requirements for healthy aging. What I bet you don't know is that this show is only part of a larger effort. To help me explain what our nutrition team at the New York State Office for the Aging does and what a registered dietitian is, here is registered dietitian Lisbeth Irish.
A registered dietitian is a professional who has training and education in food and nutrition. To become an RD, you must complete certain requirements, including a minimum of a bachelor's degree from an institution that's accredited by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. You must also pass a national examination and meet continuing education requirements. What does that mean? As RDs, we are qualified to offer accurate advice about nutrition, and we can help answer your questions about how diet can affect your health. At NYSOFA, the registered dietitians handle many tasks. This includes hosting 2 online programs aimed at helping older New Yorkers make better nutrition choices. These programs are What's Cooking with NYSOFA, which is our monthly cooking demonstration, and a Facebook Live program that I host called Ask the Experts, Nutrition Edition. In the months ahead, be on your lookout for it. We'll be sharing your questions and our experts' answers about nutrition and health. New episodes of Ask the Experts Nutrition Edition debut the second Friday of each month on Facebook and YouTube.
As Lisbeth explained, registered dietitians at NYSOFA handle many tasks, including food safety at congregate meal sites, educational materials, and outreach. In the meantime, please don't miss an episode of either show produced by our team, What's Cooking with NYSOFA and Ask the Experts Nutrition Edition. Every episode is uploaded to YouTube, and you'll find the archive shows there.
Do you have a question about foods? Or do you have a particular health issue that you'd like to improve by changing your diet? Tune in to Ask the Experts Nutrition Edition every second Friday at 1 p.m. We'd love to hear from you.
Remember, registered dietitians are the experts in nutrition. Visit for more sound advice about eating healthy on a budget.